What's going on, everyone? Ains here, Seasoned Gaming, back with yes another statue unboxing, and one that I've been looking forward to for a long time now. So as you can see in front of me, we've got the God of War, Atreus and Kratos statue. You can also likely see in the corner of the screen that this big old box right here is not the last of it. There's actually a second, even bigger box on the floor here. This is a huge piece, even though it says it's a 1:4 scale. It's supposedly a big, heavy piece with a huge stand. So we're going to check it out today. As always, I'll be giving you an up-close look at it, the details, pictures, all of the like. So this is labeled as the Ultimate Premium Masterline exclusive, which is a mouthful for sure. But this is a Valdi's Deadly Mist armor set. They're doing different armor sets for these characters, but as you can see, this is the set with Kratos and Atreus. You could also get an opposing statue that goes across from it, but we're just looking at the single set today. So they made 700 of these. This is item number 155, so a pretty good low lot number. I ordered this, as always, checking in with Prime One Studio. I checked this morning. I ordered this in November of 2019, so we're looking at a 2.5 year almost delivery schedule for this statue. And because this is one of their ultimate Masterline pieces, this is a $1,400 statue before shipping, before tax. So as you can imagine, this is a very pricey piece, and my review of this and unboxing of this will reflect that. So I'm really looking for high quality here. Better be a big, very kind of exquisite piece compared to some of the other statues we've looked at from the $400 to $800 range. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to start with this box. I believe this other big box on the floor may be the stand, but we'll start with this one first just because it's a little more manageable. So, as always, let me go ahead, kind of open up the core of this, and then once we really get into it, I'll kind of speed it up a bit so you don't just have to watch me move boxes around. Get the assembly instructions, and right away, you can't see it from there, but there's an awful lot here. A lot of pieces, a lot of different heads and attachments and different ways you can set this up. So a lot of customization, which is really cool. And as always, an advertisement for Prime One. All right, let me go ahead and get this out, cut it open, and we'll get to it. Okay, so we got the smaller box unboxed, and that actually was the base, not the figures. As you can see on the base, they always put the statue, the edition number, so 155 out of 700, Ultimate Premium Masterline from Prime One. This is a big, heavy base, as you can kind of see. It's actually wider than this little bookshelf here that I'm using, and is going to be, a really nice kind of diorama style set when this is set up, it looks like. There's a few extra pieces here. I'm not sure exactly where everything goes just yet, so I'm going to go ahead, put the base down, we'll unbox all of the Kratos and Atreus pieces, and then we'll start bringing together. Okay, so we've got the big box unboxed, and as I can kind of give you an angle of here very carefully, there are a lot of pieces. This is Atreus, here's Kratos' body. It looks like multiple heads, shields, weapons, all kinds of stuff. So because this is the deluxe edition, there's extra things here as well. So let me go ahead and get all these pieces out, and then what I'll do, as usual, is bring the camera in closer so you can get a more detailed look at all of the figure pieces, the details on them, the base, and getting it fully set up. Okay, so after several minutes, I kind of have all the pieces unpacked here, and there is a lot, as expected. So first things first, we'll look at the main Kratos sculpt, which is, I guess I should have expected it to be bigger, but it's big and heavy. So as you would expect, we've talked through these before, right? Really impressive detail on some of the armor details, the armor set, even the skin. When you look at the different, which I'll show you, it comes with 3 different possible head configurations that you can put. The painting and detail on his face, his actual kind of, not tattoos, but you know what I mean, his body paint and skin detail, even his beard and eyes, really impressive. So I can give you a look there. I will share high-res photos a little later in the video as well. You can see all of the things on the back. Like I said, this is really heavy. It's like a weight plate. What's also really interesting is it actually has sparkling snow around his boots and the bottom of his legs because he's standing in the snow, and this is part of that set. You even get a little bit of hint of that in the painting of his actual body, which is just awesome. So this is a really cool sculpt. Let me show you the different head configurations. Comes with 3 different heads. You can get the incredibly angry Kratos, which we probably have to go with, right? You can get the gritting Kratos, or if you choose, you can get the just normally pissed off looking Kratos with his mouth closed. So all 3 of those are in there. For Atreus, very similar. I've already put his arm on, but I'll give you a look at the detail here in his face, how well the painting is on his skin and around his eyes. The texture quality on his outfit, everything from the leather to the fur to just the coloring really is really well done. There's been times where some of these statues we get where the painting kind of bleeds, it kind of looks, you know, like it hasn't been paid attention to with a fine detail. You see a small little bit of that here and there, but only in the smallest details around maybe the gold shimmering or liner there, but overall it's really, really impressive. So with this you also get a number of variations. So you actually get 2 variations of the Leviathan Axe, and they can be put on different ways. So because this is the deluxe edition, it also comes with these lovely Blades of Chaos, if my memory serves. So beautiful paintwork on these as well. Comes obviously with the chains that kind of wrap around. So he can either hold these and have the axe on his back, or he can hold the axe and have the blades on his back via this extra attachment that comes. It's also his big heavy shield. Again, his arm here kind of flexing, but really nice detail work on the shield. Nice big heavy piece. The only thing I would comment on some of these pieces like the Leviathan Axe is if you watched our videos before and you watched my one on Geralt in the Witcher series, is that his Witcher swords were actually metal. They're actually of grave metal. This is not. This is just a kind of composite plastic. So, you know, small little detail, but it would have been nice, especially for the money, if this was, you know, at least this blade here was metal. But it might have been really hard to do with the paintwork and the intricacies of the design on it. So who knows? All right. So let me assemble all of this now. I'll bring it together and show you the final piece along with some high-res photos as well. Okay, so here you have it. The final assembled piece, and that took far longer than you realized with all the time I cut out. There are a lot of pieces here. As you can see, it's pretty extraordinary, and you know, I've said this many times before because I always get cool statues in, but this is definitely going to be a showpiece of the game room. So let me kind of walk around this thing and show you just how much goes into this. So because this is the DX, we put on these lovely blades in his hands, and they have real chains that you wrap around his arm here. And I've put the Leviathan Axe on his back. Now, you have other options. The normal one comes with an axe in one hand, shield in the other, and we have those extra pieces down here, along with the other extra head sculpts. So, looking at him and Atreus, Atreus is really well done. You put the arm on his bow here. This is actually a drawstring. You put the arrow in, and the drawstring can actually attach to the arrow just like it would in real life. You see the kind of tattoos and everything, all the details down to the finest detail. The coloring on his bow and everything is tremendous. Like I said, all of the snow kind of glistening on the base of the statue here, which kind of goes into the boots and the lower legs of these guys. I'm going to try and spin this here. It is a big, heavy statue, like I said, so bear with me. Now, what I chose to do, like I said, is put the Leviathan Axe on the back. You can see all the woodwork here that they're kind of standing on this crest. Most importantly, of course, look who you have on his belt is none other than Mimir, who not only, you know, looks fantastic, but his eyes will actually light up as well with this version. So I don't have that turned on typically because I display statues for years at a time. The batteries wear out, and I just kind of take the, you know, I don't set those up. But pretty cool detail that on his belt as well. You've obviously got the leather work, his extra knife, pouch, Leviathan Axe, like I said. But you can kind of just see that no detail was really overlooked. all of his armor pieces here kind of connect on and then mold together, and depending what you put on his back, if you have like the blades on his back instead of the axe, there's extra armor pieces to still kind of fill it all in and make it look completely connected. So yeah, when I look up close at this thing, it's just it's fantastic, fantastic piece, and it should be, right? I mean, don't want to undersell the point that this is a very expensive piece. But when you compare this to some of the other statues, some of the other 1-to-4s, this is clearly, you know, a step up, and it should be, as a premium Masterline. So what I'm going to do now, let me bring over, I have the God of War Collector's Edition here, as well as another 1-to-4 I'll bring over, and I'll kind of show you the difference that we're talking about when you talk about something of this scale. Okay, so for this I brought over one of my classic statues. In fact, one of the first statues I ever got from a gaming perspective, and that's my classic Street Fighter Sagat statue. This is a 1-to-4 as well. It's one of the early PCS collectible statues, and I love it to death. It's one of my favorite ones. However, you can kind of see the difference of what we're talking about between a $400 to $500 just straight mold piece versus something like this. And there's just a tremendous amount of work and size and scale and intricacies to this type of piece versus something like this. Now, even funnier, as I always like to do, you know, I'm a big fan of collector's editions as well, but people often not sure how to think about the scale of these and how big they really are. This is the collector's edition statue from God of War 2018. So again, kind of gives you some perspective as to, you know, here's what you're paying with the game, of course, $150, $200 for. And it's just, you know, light little piece of plastic versus something like this. So as they say, you kind of get what you pay for. But this is fantastic. I've talked enough now. If you have any questions, as always, please let me know. We've got like several more statues on the way, including some other big pieces as well. I've got to find room for them, actually. But I'm happy to answer anything. Definitely recommend this if you're a big collector, big God of War fan, and obviously want to spend the money, because they're not cheap. Thank you, as always, tuning in, Season Gaming. We've just hit a milestone as I record this of 10,000 subscribers. If you're one of those that always checks out our statue reviews, I appreciate you so much. Thank you, as always. Leave me a comment and like and subscribe if you enjoy the content, of course. Until next time, peace.